Hello friends and neighbors and fellow financial analysts. Dr. E here, and I am working on Chapter 5, Homework 1, Future Value of a Lump Sum. And the first question is, how do you know that a question is a future value problem? Future value problem. So it's important to understand, to first recognize what type of question you're dealing with. How do you know that a question is a future value problem? Well, the question will provide the beginning amount and will ask what the ending amount will or should be. So if the question gives you the beginning amount and asks you what the ending amount will be, that is a future value of a lump sum problem. Speaking of lump sums, how do you know, question 2, how do you know that a question involves a lump sum? Well, only one amount or deposit or contribution is involved. Only one amount. So an example of that would be, you put $500 into an account today. What will it be worth in 3 years if it earns 5% a year? One amount, $500. That's it. That's a lump sum. So let's move on. Question 3, you deposit $500 into an account. The account pays interest of 7%. How much will the account be worth in 1 year? So the formula for that is, you take the present value, which is today's value, times 1 plus the interest rate raised to the number of periods that the amount will be invested. So we have $500 times 1.07 raised to the first, and we have $535. That's how much the account will be worth in 1 year. How about in 2 years? $500 times 1.07 raised to the second, and you have $572.45. And guess what? If you take $535 times 1.07, you get $572.45. Okay? So the beginning amount times 1 plus the interest rate raised to the end. Now you have to do this first, 1.07 raised to the second, times the beginning amount equals your ending amount. How about in 3 years? 500 times 1.07 raised to the third, and you get 612.52, which is 7% higher than year 2. So if you took $500 times 1.07 times 1.07 times 1.07, you'd get 612.52. All right, now let's use let's just change numbers here. And let's say it's $1,000, $1,200, and $1,200. Those are the numbers. And we have 4%. So we have 4% for 5 years, 1.04 raised to the fifth, and we get 1216.65. Then we have 1,200 times 5% for 8 years, and we get 1772.95. Let's make sure we're on. Yeah, we're on. Okay. Then 1,200 times 8% for 20 years, and we get 5593.15. There you go. Question 5. Why must you input a cash outflow as a negative number when you're using the financial keys on the calculator to solve a time value of money problem? Why must you input a cash outflow as a negative number? The logic of the calculator requires either the present value or the future value to be entered as a negative number. Otherwise, you cannot solve for IY, which is interest rate. You cannot compute the IY, or the N, which is the time period. So what happens to the money in your pocket? You have a certain amount of money in your pocket, and let's say you invest $1,000 into an account. What happens to the money in your pocket? It goes out. It is an outflow. At the end of the period, when the investment matures and you get paid back, what happens to the money in your pocket? It goes up. It is an inflow. One of those two has to be an outflow, and a negative number, and that is the present value. Typically, it's the present value. All right, the money you have to put into the account. All right, how must you adjust the rate of return or interest you input into the calculator when you are using the financial keys to solve a time value of money problem? Well, you multiply the decimal by 100. For example, if the IY, the interest rate in the problem, is 5% or 0.05, you enter 0.05 times 100 equals 5 as the IY. All right, solve the following using the financial keys. Show the steps to input the data. All right, so now we're going to use the financial keys. What is the future value of $1,000 invested at 4% for 5 years? So, 1,000, change the sign, plus, minus, now it's a negative sign. Hit your plus minus key, is your present value, that's your outflow. $1,000 out of your pocket into an investment. 4 is your IY, your annual interest rate. 5 is your N, and compute future value, and you get 1216.65. Now this is the same as saying 1,000 times 1.04 raised to the 5th. You get the same answer. So you can solve these problems, these simple problems, using the formula or the financial keys. I don't care which way you do it, whichever you feel most comfortable, okay? As long as you get the right answer. All right, let's do another one. $1,200 invested at 5% for 8 years. So let's change the order in which we input. And by the way, clear the calculator. Clear. How do you do that? Well, you hit CEC. I'm sorry, that's not what you do. You hit the second key. Look for your second key, top left corner. Second, CEC. Second again. You know what? I'm messing this up. Let's just look on the calculator. Second, and then future value. Then second, and CEC, and then CEC again. So second, future value, second, CEC, and CEC again. That's how you clear out the calculator. If you just hit CEC, you'll get 0. You haven't cleared the calculator out. There's still numbers stored in there. You'll get a wrong answer. Okay. All right. So let's do the next one. Let's change the order in which we are inputting the data. So let's put 8 as our N and 5 as our IY and 1,200 plus minus key as our present value. Compute future value equal, compute future value, and you get 1772.95. Okay? Let's do one more, and we'll change. So let's, second future value, second CEC, and CEC again, and we'll put 8 as our IY, 20 as our N, and 1,200 plus minus key as our present value. Compute future value and you get 5593. Okay? All right. Chapter 5, homework 1 is in the books. Let's take a quick break and we'll make another video.